Hello, hello. Hi, good people. I'm just checking if I'm live. Wow. Okay. All right, we are live. Welcome to day 4 of Wealth Consciousness Challenge. Oh my God. It's been a journey and a half. And you know what? If you have managed to consistently follow, if you have committed to you completing this challenge and you are showing up, I am super proud of you. I am so proud of you. And you are doing amazing work. You are doing work. You are putting in the work. You are showing up. It's not easy to show it's not easy to show up on day 4. It's easier to show up on day 1. But when you find that on day 4 you are still there showing up, committing to the journey, wow, it says a lot about you. And I want you to know that I'm proud of you. And definitely, you will create amazing things. You will create the life that you desire. You'll create the money, the wealth that you desire. And you are honestly making an impact even in your lineage. Like right now, imagine how you will even shift your children, how you will shift your family, how you will impact your friends by becoming aware of the things that are influencing you and how you perceive money and wealth. So kudos to you. I am super proud. I have been feeling a little exhausted. Like today was like, whoa, yeah, I do feel a little tired, but I did manage to rest because I wanted to prepare for today. The nice part is that we're going to be literally chilled. Like we're going to be taking it easy with day 4. It's going to be definitely powerful, but there will be less talking but more questions. So I'm going to ask that if you're watching the replay, or even now, if you can grab a notebook, do grab a notebook. If you're watching the replay, yeah, pause and go get a notebook and let's get through this 5-step process for you to start building your wealth portfolio. It's a simple 5-step process just to get your mind going, your mind jogging around how to be thinking about wealth, right? So grab that notebook, and as I'll be asking some of these questions, you don't have to be answering them now, but think about them later and just create a plan that works for you. Honestly, at the level that you are doing well already. Say hi as you join me. I'm happy to have you. And I'm going to ask that. So tomorrow is day 5, our last day. And I had promised that I'm going to be doing a Q&A tomorrow, and also just talking about how you can work with me through my 16 weeks program, where we go deeper with money medicine work. So please do remember to inbox me your questions or comment with your questions so that I'm able to help you move through them tomorrow, or give you a little more clarity in your journey of creating money and wealth. Yeah. So who's ready for day 4? Okay. So I think a few weeks back, I was watching a very beautiful and short clip, and there was this man who was explaining the evolution of money and wealth throughout the different generations. And what he was saying really caught my interest. Like, it was so powerful. He said, our grandmothers, so my grandmother, made money in order for her to survive. Her desire to have money was mostly for her survival. Whilst our parents, which is my mother, right? My mother and dad, they created money because their motivation was to improve the standard of living. So they were moving away from that survival energy and stepping more into what are the standards that I desire. And we are the generation that creates money and wealth for quality of life. How true is this? Quality. We are the generation that is no longer just wanting to survive. We are the generation that is no longer just looking for certain standards. No, we are up leveling. We want quality. Are you looking for quality? Is this something that you're also resonating with? Like, yes. I want money. I want wealth. I deserve it. I feel it. I'm deserving. I feel worthy of it. And it's about quality for me. So I see it as that, honestly, having a wealth portfolio is like, I'll tell you in a bit what a portfolio is, but basically it connects to today's message to say that having a wealth portfolio is like wanting to model your wealth creation, to create a model in your wealth creation that is reflecting more of the quality that you desire for your life, the quality of life you desire. And of course, different desires, different people, right? So when we speak about a wealth portfolio, we're talking about, in simple terms, we're talking about a collection of, your assets, your investments, and, your investment products, your investment tools that are held by you. Basically, everything that your wealth creation right now is representing, or a collection of all the things that are representing, the wealth that you hold, right? And I find it very important to be talking about this, because one weakness that I see with people is that we create money, and then we end up with a lot of, our assets, or the things that we had created, even businesses, collapsing, or sometimes being so scattered by the time that we die or transition. So it's like, this is a big weakness, especially for us Africans, where it's like we lack that continuity with our wealth for it to really move from one generation to the other. And one of the weaknesses that I see there is because there is nowhere we invest much time in, like, okay, now that I'm building this, what is the model that I can use to really reflect the things that I'm investing in, the products that I've invested in, and the returns as well, right? And the assets that I have, the risk management products that I've also had, like, for example, insurance and stuff. So again, for me, it brings the issue of, we have to have a deeper understanding that we are creating money and wealth because at the end of the day, we want to see a return, right? We don't want to just be doing this. There has to be a return in everything, in the money, in the relationships that you have built, in the business that you've built. We do what we do. Everyone who commits to creating wealth, to creating money, is because they do seek a certain return. So usually a wealth portfolio gives you the opportunity to now be conscious of the return that you desire for your wealth, right? So you get the opportunity to say that, okay, now I'm not just creating, I am conscious of the return that I want with this process of creating money, of creating wealth, right? So I always say, you know what? Dream bigger, but also now implement tools and strategy to hold those dreams even after you have gone. And I see a wealth portfolio giving us opportunity to do that, right? It's the holder. Remember, we don't want to just receive, we want to hold. Okay, so 5-step process to start building your wealth portfolio, or to start thinking about it, seeing where you are and how you can improve the way in which you are working with your money and the way in which you are currently creating wealth. We don't just randomly do things. Even right now, if you decide that, oh, I want to get a house, you need to think about, okay, why this particular house? Why this particular location? So such things, sometimes it's easier to not think about them or to not be conscious of them. But once you are able to fill in these gaps in the way in which you're doing things, you'll find that, oh my God, I have created a model that is reflecting the things that I truly love, that I invest in, that I'm building, right? So the very first step, I'll make it simple. The very first step, step 1, vision. Getting clear on your financial vision or your wealth vision. That's the first step. Okay, vision. You can even type in the comment section to say, okay, my financial vision. This is not even a tricky thing, but it can take time for you to really get clear on like what. So a vision basically is like your dream destination. Like, in as much as you always say, oh, I want to be rich, I want to make money. Like, where are you going though? What do you really want, right? So a vision will reflect more of your biggest why, right? A vision reflects your biggest why. This is where you have asked yourself, okay, what does wealth mean to me? You know, the assignment we had for day 1. What does wealth mean to me? Why am I even creating money? Or why am I even creating this wealth? What do I deeply desire from this, right? What are the things that I deeply value? And sometimes it can also be, what are the things that really concerns me in my journey, in my experience of life, that I would like to now shift? Like, for example, sometimes you can, in the process of building, you know, your business, you can get to a point where you're like, you know what? I realized that I have put in so much work, so many hours, but I feel like I didn't really get to enjoy the money, or I put in the hours and most of the time I was on survival. I feel like what I deeply desire, or what has been my greatest concern basically, is realizing that I got to be exhausted in my journey. And so then you get to desire freedom, right? It can be financial freedom, to say that I would love for to experience more financial freedom as I keep going. I would like to experience more time with my family as I keep going. And so that becomes part of the thing that drives your vision, right? So just to think about it, your dream destination, your vision, this is something that you need to be thinking about. It's a step 1. Why are we even here? Why are we even attempting to be creating this wealth? What is the thing for you, right? How does that feel in your body? How does that feel right now as you're listening to this? What are the emotions that are coming up when someone says, okay, what is your biggest why for creating money and wealth? How does it feel? It is possible to experience different emotions, you know. It can also be a triggering question, but don't be alarmed. Allow it to integrate until you are finally feeling like, you know what, I get it. I get why I'm creating money and wealth. I get the things that I deeply desire and that I would like to influence, right? Yes. So step 2. Step 2. You have these desires. You have this dream. You have identified the things that you value, and now you have your vision. So the next thing is, okay then, let's get even more clearer. what do I require the money for? Where do I require this money to go? Right? Now that I know that, oh, I want this and that. Currently, as I make money, right, where do I want it to go the most? So, of course, like, really, it's like to get you to identify where your money goes. The thing is, you need to place a damn demand, a big demand on money. Okay? You need to place a big demand at a mental level, at an emotional level, at a spiritual level, at a physical level. Place a big demand on why you even want money. Like, this is not even me saying be desperate, but it's whereby you allow yourself to really be hungry for it, to deeply desire it, and be okay with desiring it, and strongly feel that desire so that you can really pull the money and the wealth. I say this because think about it. Like, right now, if you were to keep saying, I want food, but you're not hungry. Even if you were to walk into a buffet and you have all the choices of the food you can eat, chances are you're just going to get a little bit. And let me tell you, this is the same thing we do with money. Like, millions and millions and trillions are literally circulating right now. Right now, transactions are happening of trillions and billions and millions. It's like a buffet of money out there. But because you are not that hungry, you are literally serving with a teaspoon. So having a requirement is like, I will put that big demand, and I will get more. Imagine yourself right now that if you were to walk into a room, and if you're being honest with yourself, how much would you really take for yourself? I can bet different people will take different amounts of money. And it doesn't mean all of us are going to take that million or billion. It will all depend on our consciousness. And also sometimes what we desire, right? So you create a damn demand. You visualize, okay, the lifestyle that I want. What do I really want? Do I want to be owning a home, this and that? You place a deep demand on even your business. Where would you like to see it grow? Like, therefore, you need money for it to be doing 1, 2, 3, right? You go all in. What do I really want money to do for me? Like, placing that demand. You look into the desires you have for your kids, your aspirations. What are the things that you want to be funding and influencing? Guys, God placed you on earth for you to come and do his work one way or the other, in the way that you know how, to influence things, to change things. And the more wealth and money you can create currently, the way the world works is that it's easier to influence. It's easier for you to be funding things that are meaningful to you when you have the resources. So we need those resources. So yes, go deeper. So this is where you also get to think about, okay, your emergency funds. What is the way in which you want to be, managing the risk? So your emergency funds, how you want to be saving. What do I require money for? I require money to support me in my health, in my lifestyle, in the things that I want to influence, all the things in the lifestyle I want for my kids. You do these things so that you can pull in money. We sometimes, feeling financially stagnant and spending or having been on the same income level for the longest time is really because of us not having a greater demand on why we want money. And sometimes that definitely is connected to our own fears and insecurities. So you want to work with this, right? So that's step 2 for you. How are you feeling about step 2? Let me know, even if you're feeling stressful. Or if you're getting excited to say that, yes. Give yourself permission to place a big demand on money by having all the requirements. So you know how sometimes someone can win a lottery and then, or get a bonus at work, or get a big tender for their business, and it looks like, oh my God, all the money is going all in all the different directions. Sometimes it's because they didn't have requirements in order. Like, they were not conscious of their own requirements of money. So by the time even money comes, they're like, what do I do? So I want you to start being conscious of, like, what do you want to do? Why do you want money? Right? Now that you're pulling in this money, step 3, you're going to find yourself now having to establish money channels. So you see, we're becoming more and more conscious of what we're doing with our money. Establishing money channels that are supporting those requirements. If you're in business, you're like, okay, what is the way in which I would like my business to expand? What are the income streams I can now start creating? Because I need to now create more money channels. I need to now establish ways in which I can meet the requirements that I have, because I'm deserving, right? And an easy way to do this is when you find this that are highly aligned with you. This is something that I help individuals with in the money medicine work that I do, to say that, so how then, now that you see that you are creating a lot of requirements or more requirements, what are the money channels that you want, the way in which you want to pull money to you, right? So allow your values, your vision to guide you on this. So that's step 3, right? The money channels, the way in which you're going to pull money. I love it, love it, love it. And step 4, we are pulling in the money. These are simple steps, right? So simple. Step 4, we are pulling in the money. And now we don't want to just receive, we want to hold it. How are we going to hold it? By growing it, by allowing it to expand, right? So step 4 is now when you are looking to grow what you are receiving. And an easier way to grow how you are receiving is through investments, right? Is through investment, and also now buying the assets, risk management being catered for. So this is where basically the foundation of wealth building. Now for you, you are moving from, it's money, but to now, okay, I want it to be continuous. I want it to be to generate more even without my presence. So that's the foundation of wealth building, right? So this is where now you are expanding more into your resources, the resources that you have, using the resources you have to create more income that will be available even when you're not present, right? Even for your kids, for the next generation. So here, usually it's easier when you work with an expert to say that, okay, these are the assets that I want to be buying. What are the things that I need to be consider as I'm buying these assets? These are the investment products that I want to be investing in. And it's important to also even do your research. Don't just rely on experts, right? Do your own research. If you want to be investing in stocks, in shares, this is the part where now you need to be thinking about it in bonds and CFDs. So all the things, right? Getting assets that are both tangible, being the real estate and all the things, and that are also intangible, being the shares, right? Another important thing here also, you have to understand, even your business is part of these investments. As you are building your business, you are investing. So your business is a big asset. But to make it even more of an asset that generates money without you needing to be present. Like, of course, most of us start out as solo entrepreneurs or having a small team, but in the process, you need to now also be thinking, right, as a foundation of building wealth, how will I start inputting systems and automations that allow my business to create more, while I put less effort, or why I'm less present, right? Remember, now you're honoring that desire of like spending time with your family or that freedom. So even your business now gets to start supporting that freedom, but you have to place in the systems that will work for you. Like, for example, if you are using your gifts, for example, you are a writer, getting to write a book and get royalties from that. You are a motivational speaker, you want to start thinking, okay, should I be making videos? Should I be creating content, e-courses? You are a coach, or a healer. Should I be making products that I can be selling to people? You know, all the things. If you are an artist, how do I get to allow my business to now get less from me, but also create more, even without me? So the skills that you need to be investing in, the knowledge that you need to be investing in, treat your business as also part of the assets that are in your wealth portfolio, right? And a weakness that happens with a lot of entrepreneurs as you monetize your gifts and skills is that sometimes your business becomes the one asset that you've been focusing on. So having a wealth portfolio now gets you to a point where you have to open up your mind to saying that, okay, I have my business, but it's just part of the assets, because there are ways in which now I need to be generating money and supporting my biggest vision, right? If you need to be creating trainings, that's the thing that you also start developing, right? Also, this is the part where you think about, so we've talked investment products, we've talked about your business, how also it can be an asset. When you get to automize it, make it automatic and put all the systems. And also now here it's where you do risk management, right? You want to be thinking about, do you need any life covers because you have dependents? Is that something you actually want to do? The different products that can help you manage your risk, right? This one will be different for anyone at the level that they are. Do you want to be setting up medical aid? An issue that entrepreneurs have is that sometimes, because of the process, or the hectic process of being in business, sometimes we neglect such thing as our health. What if I was to actually get sick? What if I was to pass on and leave my dependents? How then can I carry them through? How can I support them? So at this part of thinking about how to grow your money and also how to input risk management in your life, the foundation of wealth building. Step 4 is very, very has to be very detailed. That's where you put even more effort. And of course, I do repeat that it is easier to work on this with an expert and investment portfolio manager, but you can still start at the level that you are, right? Because you are doing all this to have a return, right? To have a return on the input you have had in your life. Step 5, now you have invested right. You have done all the things that felt aligned to you, aligned to your desires, to your value, to your vision. Step 5 is about preparing for your legacy. Preparing for your legacy. Where now you get to think about, how will I transfer this wealth? Who will take care of this? Who will get to use this? My dependents. How do they continue the life that I have built? And this is the part where we talk wills. This is the part where you talk, about trust funds, the trustees. You need people who will take care of your interest beyond the life that you have lived, right? So I have had moments where I would ask a client, so what do you think is to happen if you were to pass on? And they're like, I barely discuss this with my loved ones. And it's true. This is why we have a lot of families fighting over inheritance, and sometimes, even the kids being affected by this, and sometimes never really benefiting from their parents' legacy. So this is a big part. Step 5 is like the legacy. How are you going to transfer, your wealth, and how are you going to meet, your interests beyond this lifetime? So plan for that as well. Be conscious of that. Be conscious of that, because you get to become the ancestor who literally created the wild dreams, right? You want your grandchildren to look back someday and say, oh my God, I have enjoyed the continuity of money and wealth in my family because I had a grandfather or a grandmother like this. So please do allow yourself to think about this. But in all in these 5 steps, you're going to realize that wealth requires you to actually be conscious. Wealth requires you to plan and to prepare. You also need to be patient with the journey and to trust the journey and to really keep fine-tuning and seeing what works for you and what doesn't work for you throughout the journey. So it's a journey that requires your patience. It's a journey that requires your commitment. And more than anything, it's a journey that requires you to be more conscious of what you're doing. We don't just leave things to chance. Although we are open to being gifted with many more miracles. Of course. And so it is. So today there's no assignment. Today the assignment is for you to go through these 5 steps and see where you are. Where are you in terms of being conscious about the way in which you are creating wealth? And you can let me know if this process was helpful, or if you want clarity on something, we can talk on that. But I honestly do believe that just this information will open you up to now having to think about certain things that maybe you've probably just been taking them for granted. And of course, my inbox is open for you to let me know what comes up for you. I will be sharing with you how I actually go deeper with this work in my 16 weeks program of the Sacred Abundance Mastermind. So yes, I do go deeper in this. I do help you with this, and I will let you know how you can work with me tomorrow. Do forward your questions if you have any, so that I'm able to move you through them tomorrow. It's been lovely. I hope this was really helpful. I hope that you will realize that even throughout this challenge, we've honored the multidimensionality of wealth creation. We did the spiritual aspect, the emotional, the mental, and also the practical part of it, right? And yes, that's the way to do it. Thank you for being here. If you're gonna be watching later, replay, and yes, do take the notes that you need to be taking. Okay, I'm gonna go now. That's it for day 4 Wealth Consciousness Challenge. I'll see you tomorrow for completion and day 5 of Wealth Consciousness Challenge. Bye.